We are back with Out of the Park Baseball. It is the 6th of June now in 1871. Um, and we have got ourselves a matchup here between the second place team in the American League, the 6-3 Philadelphia Athletics, who are coming off a really bad loss, believe it or not. I believe to Detroit Haymakers. And they're going to be coming up against the 4-4 Cleveland Forest Cities, who need to kickstart their season because I believe they're in the American League. And Boston is running away with it right now over there. They are Messi fanboys, fangirls, and there are real football fans who are cheering for the Whitecaps. Absolutely, that's basically yes, that's what it is. Let's go Whitecaps all the way. Although I don't agree with what Doyle said on Blue Sky the other day. He's a dickhead at times. Talking about, well, Sorensen should have been. This is proof Sorensen should have been Coach of the Year. I'm like, first off, the only thing that actually goes into Coach of the Year is the MLS regular season. CONCACAF Champions League doesn't factor into it. U.S. Open Cup doesn't factor into it. Leagues Cup doesn't factor into it, and the MLS Cup playoffs doesn't factor into it. And then he says, well, all that Carnell did was revert the union back to their normal ways. And I'm like, but if that's the case, why did everybody pick them to miss the playoffs this season? The pundits would have been expecting more at the start of the season. It's the fact that he's taken a team that sold 3 huge starters, including their all-time leading goal scorer, and he finished them top of the whole pile after the regular season. Like, if that doesn't win you Coach of the Year, I don't know what does. So, no, you know what? The playoffs are the play. You get games like Minnesota and Seattle. You get games like Vancouver and who they play before. Um, Damn, who'd they play before this round? Before they beat San Diego. You know what? It's not. It's unique and it's fine. I think it's fine. We're not the only league that uses playoffs to determine champion. I'm. What sucks is that they're a best of one. They should be two-legged. I agree with that. They should be every round should be a home and away, hands down. But I think playoffs provide so much drama, and I think we've seen that over the years in the MLS Cup playoffs. You can go back. There's been so many unbelievable series slash playoff games. Salutations, Crack. Nice stream earlier today, brother. Great job. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun, actually. So, salutations to you, sir. I need to figure out how to put this cup behind all my water bottles without fucking spilling the little bottom of it that's still in there. These hats is just too many hats. 3 hats. Yeah, no. Welcome in, man. Let me write you down and then we'll get into the starting lineup, shall we? Because I got to read off the starting lineup for both of these teams here. Someone summarized Pinball Wizard into a Shakespeare sonnet. Nice. That's hilarious. Uh, but yeah, I think playoffs are great. Benny, how's the MLS going to change in the Winter League? They're going to do this. So stupid. The transition period is going to be fucking brutal. They're going to milk us for every dime we have as fans. I know that. So 2026, the entire season is going to be a summer league, like it is now, like it was this year. It's going to run from February to November. Then they're going to take after MLS Cup concludes in December, they're going to take a 2-month break and they're going to come back in like late February again and they're going to run a 16 game season or something like that they're going to compact for between February and May, and then they're going to run playoffs in May to determine an MLS Cup champion. And then they're going to break at the end of May and they're going to resume a new season in August, and they're going to do that, and they're going to go up to the first week of December, and then they're going to take a 6-week break, a 6 or 8 week, more like an 8-week break, and they're going to resume like second weekend or third weekend of February and run through to May again. So it's going to be like, you know what it's really honestly like, and Pix would probably agree. It's kind of like Apertura Clausura, but without the playoffs for Apertura, right? That's what it's like. I was speaking to a group of Miles. They told me that Jesus Christ, crack. Oh, God. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into starting lineups. For this matchup, 6th of June, 1871. We'll start with the visiting 6-3 Philadelphia Athletics. Leading off will be left fielder John Hatfield. He's batting .292, 4 RBI so far this season. Scott Hastings, the catcher, will bat second. He is batting .282, 4 RBIs this season. Tom York, center fielder, is in the 3 spot. He is batting .310, 4 RBIs so far this season. Ed Pinkham, the third baseman, in the 4 spot. He's batting .395 with 6 RBIs this season. Dickie Pierce is in the 5 spot, the shortstop. He is batting .421 with 6 RBIs. Dick Higham is the second baseman, and in the 6 spot, he's batting .317. He has 12 RBIs so far this season for Philadelphia. Charlie Bierman in the 7th spot. He's batting .290 with 3 RBIs. The first baseman is Neely Phelps is going to bat 8th. He's batting .306 with 7 RBIs. And Bobby Matthews bats 9th, the pitcher, batting .306, 2 RBIs. Welcome in, Owen. How you doing, my man? How was your stream? I hope you're doing well, man. I'm back at it. This is the first stream since like 2 weekends ago, I think. Did you raid out? You did raid out. Oh, you raided Limo. Limo's fucking class, man. I love Limo. Who doesn't love Limo, quite frankly? He's so awesome. Right. Let me just get him tabbed up and remove the raid message so I can. Hey, hold on. I apparently have a sub too. A sub renewal too. I have a few more I have to resub, but I'm kind of like making sure I got everything I need for the Olympics before I resub to anybody. It was good, an emotional roller coaster, but good. It looked like it, man. I came back from dinner. You had your head in your hands like this. I was like, oh my God, it's not going well. Right. Starting lineup for the home side, the 4-4 Cleveland Forest Cities. Leading off is center fielder Dave Egler. He's batting .457 RBIs so far this season. Fred Cohn bats second. He's on a cold streak. He's batting .231 with 4 RBIs this season. Deacon White, the catcher, will bat third. He's batting .300. He's got 3 RBIs so far this season. Al Spalding will bat fourth. He's batting .448 with 3 RBIs. Yes, there are 2 Forest Cities, Cleveland and Rockford. Yep. In this game, Cleveland's in the American League. Rockford is in the National League. Chick Fulmer, the shortstop, bats .333. He's got 5 RBIs this season. William Johnston, second baseman, bats 6th. He's batting .297, 7 RBIs this season. Denny Mack will bat 7th. He is the first baseman, batting .312 with 3 RBIs so far this season. John Glenn, right fielder, bats 8th. .393 average, 7 RBIs this season. Francis Abercrombie, who's on a cold streak, is batting .061, and he's in the 3 spot. .448 and pitching. Yeah, they moved him up to the 4 spot in hitting. I was just going to point that out, actually. It's really odd. There's a few pitchers that, because obviously back then pitchers did everything. It's like cricket, right? Eventually you're called on to bat. And there's a few guys that are good enough to hold on to like the 5 or 6 spot in the lineups. Spalding is literally in the cleanup spot. Benny, with me getting new PC, will I be able to use WeTransfer to get the new save into the new PC? Yes, you should be able to. You should. It's just a save file, so it should work perfectly. It should be all right. Skull. When we did the FM24 save, one save, multiple idiots, that's how Lou, Raz, Ducky, and I shared the save amongst each other. We literally would put it up on, like when I was done my season, I would put it on WeTransfer. Lou would download it, and then he would play a season, put it up on WeTransfer, and then Raz would download it, et cetera, et cetera. So it should work perfectly fine. John Glenn wasn't around in 1871. He went to space. in the 1960s. I'm sorry about the result yesterday. The result yesterday. The result yesterday. Oh, West Ham. I knew we weren't gonna fucking beat Man U. I mean, not Man U, Liverpool. Welcome in it, kid. I've learned three things about West Ham. Number one, they can beat any club in the top five. Number two, we can lose. Well, we cannot beat anybody in the bottom five. And number three, we cannot beat a club out of form. I already told you guys, West Ham. West Ham are no. We were talking about Man U because I believe that's our next fixture. So it's just a fucking Freudian thing. It's not. Come on, kid. Don't be like that, please. Right. But yeah, I knew we weren't gonna. We're the form busters. When you need a win, have it in 10. Who are you gonna call? West Ham. Right. It's a 10:05 first pitch. 963 in attendance. It is 72 degrees for those of you that use Celsius. 72 is about 22 degrees. Wind is blowing in from the right at 10 miles an hour. At least slop drop players once, yeah. Well, at least one thing I did before what happened to me on Wednesday night, I got to see the Shield. That's true. Hey, man, I hope you're recovered for next season. Certainly the River End needs more voices on it. The River End was just really odd this offseason. Or this postseason, I should say. It was very odd. Right. That is great news to hear, Hakuna Matata. Right, Al Spalding is on the mound for Cleveland. Philadelphia has got John Hatfield settling into the box. We're ready to start this one. I was in front of the KSU. That's unfortunate, bro. That's unfortunate. What did you think about the F1 yesterday? I didn't watch it. I'm so over this F1 season. I'm so over the bull crap with this F1 season, man. Right, let's settle in. You know what it is? I don't watch F1 anymore. I really don't. I love the games, but I don't really watch the sport anymore. It's just too much. It's just too much politics, too much like tinkering stuff with the formats and the sprint race week, and it's just race the goddamn cars. I'm ready to watch Union Berlin and Bayern Munich on Wednesday. Nice. So, DFB Pokal, nice. Here we go. First pitch to Hatfield from the National Association Fairgrounds in Cleveland. And we are underway. And pitch is low and in the dirt. It's 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's a called strike. It's 1-1. I only watch when it's like this year. I stopped watching fully when they made sprint weekends mean nothing. Yeah. I mean, the title race is very exciting this year. I will say it's one of the better seasons you could watch. But it's so much. I just think there's so much going on in Formula One outside of racing the cars, between the sprint weekends and all the disqualifications and all this other stuff and like just race. You know what it is really mainly? I miss 2000s F1. 2000s F1 was so good, and it hasn't really captivated me the same way that 90s or 2000s F1 has. Here's the one, and I know that's just me being a sentimental prick, but still, that's over to short. Oh, long throw with a first. It's not in time. And John Hatfield beats out a deep infield single. And he's aboard. Leadoff runner for Philadelphia is aboard. That'll bring up Scott Hastings. That's really well hit. It was deep. Fulmer did well to run diagonal to the ball, get behind it. But when you're throwing from deep third, almost deep third over here, it's always a tough play, especially when you're throwing cross body because you've run this direction. Now you got to throw back cross body, and it allows Hatfield to beat the throw. Hastings settles in. Here's the first pitch to him. He's going to bunt this down. It'll be a sac play, and they go over to first and get the runner. So 2-3 on the sac bunt. And Philly's got the runner over to second with one out here. That'll bring up Tom York, center fielder. Here's the first pitch to him. That's taken high and away, ball one. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Called strike, it's 1-1. Enjoy stream, brilliant time chat. Gotta go to sleep. Yeah, I get it. It's late there. Have a good one, Skull. Take care, man. Get a good night's rest, brother. KXJ, what's going on, my man? How are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's inside, ball two. I'm okay, thanks. Good, man. How was your stream earlier? Because I was lurking for a good part of it earlier today. Here's a 2-1. That's fouled to the backstop. It'll be 2-2. 2-2 pitch. That's swung on, grounded over to second. They go to first, and that one's in time to get the runner. And now there is 2 away here in the second inning. You think you only lost 1? Nice. That'll bring up third baseman Ed Pinkham. Runner on third, 2 down here. Here's the first pitch to Pinkham. And that is fouled to the backstop. It is 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Check swing. They go to third, and umpire there says he did not go, and so it will be 1-1. We'll be back at work. Sounds good, man. Don't work too hard. Here's the 1-1. That's a called strike. It's 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch to Ed Pinkham. Inside, ball 2. 2-2 now. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That is swung on into left field, drifting foul, and it will land foul. We'll do it again at 2-2. Counts even. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul. Here is the 7th pitch of this at-bat. It's taken inside, ball 3. And now the count is full, 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. That is shot into right field, deep, going back there. It's off the wall. And it's going to be runs for Philadelphia. Going over to third is going to be Pinkham. Can he get there in time? Safe is the call. And Pinkham's got himself an RBI triple here. And Philadelphia leads this ball game by a score of 1-0. That'll bring up shortstop Dickie Pierce. Runner on third, 2 down. Here's the pitch. Pierce is going to take that outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's a called strike. It's 1-1. 10th Shadow. What's good, man? How are you? How are you, my guy? Just chilling? Awesome. Love to hear it. Here's the 1-1. That's taken for a called strike. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. And that's fouled into the stands. It will remain 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Popped it up in the infield. Pitcher's over it, and he's going to make the grab, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go bottom first here in Cleveland, and Philadelphia's jumped out to a 1-0 lead. It'll be Dave Egler to get things started for Cleveland in their home half of the first. But before then, we are going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom first here in Cleveland. I got to start the shout-outs. How rude of me. Right, give him a follow if you're not already. FM, FIFA, Fortnite, F1, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege. He's a do-it-all, stream-it-all kind of guy. Blockbuster V20 sponsors this first inning. God, I hate Build Fortnite. Oh, man. I absolutely hate Build Fortnite. No Build's so much better. But that's a nice clip. That's a freaking nice clip. Right, go give him a follow if you haven't already. He's fantastic. We're back into it with the bottom of the first. Dave Egler will settle in. It's Bobby Matthews on the mound for Philadelphia. Here's the first pitch. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That shot into right field. That's going to stay. That's going to just land foul. Oh-2 pitch. And that shot into center field. That'll get down. It's a base hit for Egler. He's got himself a single. So both teams leading off with a single here in their respective halves of the inning. That's going to bring up Fred Cohn, the left fielder. Runner on first, nobody out. Here's a throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. First pitch. He swung on. This is into left field, and that lands foul. In the rock opera Tommy, what is Tommy's last name? I have never even heard of the rock opera Tommy, so there's no way I would even know the answer to that question. Here's the 0-1. Throw over to first, and Egler is back in tie. Here's the pitch. That's grounded over to first. On to second for the first. Over to first. He's got him. No, he's not got him. He's not got him. I'm sorry. I thought it looked like to me that he had him. I would have called him out. I guess that's a good thing as to why I'm not an umpire. Fielder's choice then. 3-4. No, 3-6 on the fielder's choice. I thought he had him. You'll hear it eventually. It's on the albums list. Gotcha. I haven't been I obviously took a break from that when I was sick too. So my plan is to get back into the swing of that tomorrow, actually. And finish Yoshimi Battles the Big Robots. Vin Scully would never. That's why I'm behind a computer screen and not a broadcast booth, sadly. You're not wrong. Right, that's going to bring up Deacon White. The catcher. Runner on first, one down here. Here's the first pitch to him. Throw over to first, and he's back in time. First pitch off the plate. That's a ball. Throw over to second. Not in time, and Fred Cohn has stolen second base. Here's the 1-0. That's a called strike. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's off the plate inside. Ball 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And going for third. He's looking for it. He's safe at third. He's stolen third base. God, I've had to write that so tiny. I hope my eyes can see that later. Two stolen bases for Fred Cohn. Now runner on third. With a hitter's count, 3-1, and only one out. Here's the pitch. That's grounded over to short. On to first. That's a bad throw. Oh, it's a horrible throw. It's going to be an E6. It's an error on the shortstop. Coming in the score will be Fred Cohn. And the Dickie Pierce is the player that's going to get credited with the error. And Cleveland have tied the game. No, welcome in, Zegon. No, this is not FM 26. I don't even play FM 26 on stream. I play FM 23 and 24 on stream, mainly 23. Which, by the way, that save is coming back this week. Check the schedule. If you guys don't know, I actually have set my schedule through to the next Friday. Through to Friday of next week. Exclamation point. It's actually not exclamation point. I should make that a command, shouldn't I? But it's twitch.tv/Benakage/schedule. I will make a note to make that a command. Welcome in. Here's the first pitch now to Al Spalding. And that's lined right at the second. He dives and he's made the play. Spalding, Dick Higham on the dive, and he has made the play to get the second out. That's going to bring up Chick Fulmer, the shortstop. Here's the first pitch to him. That's high, ball one. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed. That's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And that's outside. Looks like maybe a little low. Ball two. That does say something. Here's the 2-1. And that's lined into right field. Going back. It's in the gap. It's going to go to the gap. And goes all the way to the wall. It'll be at least a double. Sliding into second base is Chick Fulmer. And now there's a runner in scoring position with 2 outs here. And also that's an RBI double that scores Deacon White. And Cleveland have taken a lead. That's going to bring up William Johnson. It's going to be a shootout. It is going to be. This is Philly, like on paper, Cleveland's the better team, but Philly's playing so much better so far this season. This could be a shootout. Here's the first pitch to William Johnson. That's taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. If you guys like Out of the Park, you've missed any of the season so far, they are uploaded to YouTube. It's !YouTube or !YT. The whole series is there in a playlist for you. I have to upload the last game. But outside of the 5th of June, which was the game before this, they're all up there. And here's the 0-1. That's lined right at the second baseman. That'll be gloved for the final out. And that will retire the side. So, 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the second inning. And Cleveland have taken the lead by a score of 2-1. Due up first for the Philadelphia Athletics will be second baseman Dick Higham. And now it's time for our second inning sponsor. He does FM, Call of Duty, a little bit of FIFA. Does the F1 with Block as well. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The Great Skull Crusher, another Irish streamer. Love his stuff. Here, look at this. Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know. I did not. What? What is that goal? I mean, what is? I watched that thing with a minute. I'm like, what the hell was that goal? I did not know that. That kid. Okay, fair enough. Right, Skull Crusher is our sponsor for this second inning. Dick Higgum settling in. Here we go with the first pitch to Higgum. And that's high, ball one. Here's the 1-0. That's below the knees. 2-0 now to Higgum. Here's the pitch. That's grounded over towards second. It's another bad throw. It's another bad throw. This time it's on the by the Cleveland side, and Higgum's aboard on an E4. It will be second baseman William Johnson getting credited with an error, and now the leadoff runner for Philadelphia is aboard again here in the top of the second. That will bring up Charlie Bierman, the first baseman. Here's the pitch. And he has absolutely shot that into left field. It is going to stay there for the left fielder by the foul line, but he makes the play, and that will retire Bierman. Runner on first, one down. Neely Phelps, right fielder, settling into the box now for Philadelphia. Here's the pitch to him. And that's lined foul down the first base side. Here's the 0-1. That's high, ball one. Here's the 1-1. High, ball two. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's a called strike. It's 2-2 now. Here is the 2-2 pitch to Neely Phelps. And he's grounded that to the backstop. It is going to remain 2-2. Here's the 2-2. And that's below the knees, 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. And that's popped up into right field, drifting foul, and it will land there. We go again. 8th pitch of this at bat. Here's the pitch. That is ball four. And Neely Phelps has drawn an 8-pitch walk. Going to second will be Dick Higgum. And it's first and second now, 1 out. That's going to bring up Bobby Matthews, the pitcher. Here's the first pitch to him. And that is a called strike. It's on 1. Here's the 0-1. That's lined right at the shortstop. He will grab it. And that'll be the second out of the inning. That brings John Hatfield back up to the plate. He had a single his last at bat. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Or the first pitch, I should say. That one's shot into left field, and it just drifts foul. That single getting things started in this game for Philadelphia. Eventually would come in to score a run. Here's the 0-1. That is grounded right back up the mound, over to short, and over to first. And that is in time. 6-3 on the putout. No runs on one hit, and they leave 2 aboard. We go bottom second here in Philadelphia. In Cleveland. And the Forest Cities have a 2-1 lead. We are going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. That'll help reset that timer down there. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Right, welcome back. Bottom second in Cleveland. 2-1 for the Cleveland Forest Cities. They are 4-4 coming into this game. Philadelphia 6-3, trying to chase down the 8-2 Boston Red Stockings, who are the best team in baseball right now. That's going to, leading off this half inning for Cleveland will be first baseman Denny Mack. Matthews is ready on the mound, and here comes the first pitch. Check swing, but okay, hold on. Check swing. They go to first, and the first base umpire says he went around. And so that'll be strike one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's popped up into center field. Center fielder's coming over. He'll make the grab, and that will be the first out of the inning. Right. John Glenn settles in now. Right fielder. Here's the first pitch to him. Below the knees, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Below the knees again, 2-0 now. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the backstop, it'll be 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on a miss, 2-2 now to count. Here's the 2-2. And that is flied into right field, and it just drifts foul. And we'll do it again at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Below the knees, ball 3. Full count now. Here's the pitch. Popped it up right at second base. Second baseman's over there. He'll make the grab. And that will be the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up third baseman Francis Abercrombie. He is in desperate need for a hit, batting just .061 so far this season. 2 hits on his 33 at-bats so far. Here's the pitch to Francis Abercrombie. He swung on and missed. That's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded over to third. The throw from deep third, that's in plenty of time, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go top third in Cleveland, and Cleveland leading by a score 2-1. New inning means new sponsor. He's a deaf football manager streamer. He's awesome. Give him a follow. He's a super nice guy. If you haven't already, give him a follow. Enjoy a nice time relaxing and enjoying this chat and just the conversation with him. It's Gary Miller, who will sponsor our third inning here today. There's a clip of the old school days, man. FM 21 right there. It's Al Spalding who takes up the mound. Whoa. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This one's lined into left field. I totally hit the wrong button. I have to look over this real quick. So it is a single, but the count was full. You know what it was? I hit Alt instead, and that brought up the, like, I have out of the park menu or window, so it brought up like the menu to close the game, and I was like, no, and I hit escape, but then apparently that at bat went. So that was a So it was a 7-pitch at bat that ended up with Hastings getting a single. That'll bring up Tom York, center fielder. Here he goes, settling in. First pitch. It's a ball and it's a passed ball. It's a wild pitch, actually. It's a wild pitch way off the plate, and because of that, Hastings will get to second for free. And the count is 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's inside, ball 2. Runner in scoring position, nobody out here. Here's the 2-0. That's inside, ball 3. And now it's a 3-0 count to Tom York here. Here's the pitch. That's a called strike. Taken all the way is York, and it's 3-1 now. It's already the 50th pitch from Al Spalding. Here it is. And he's grounded that back up. That's a good stop, but there's no play. There is no play. Welcome in, mad scientist. Tom York gets credited with an infield single. That was an absolute bullet. And it was well stopped by the shortstop. But by the time he dove to make the play and get the ball up, he just, the runner was already 3/4 of the way down first. This is proper retro. Let's go. This is proper retro. Welcome, mad scientists, to the 6th of June into the year 1871. It is the very first year of professional baseball in the United States. There was a league that existed before Major League Baseball called the National Professional Baseball Players, and or National Professional Baseball League, and it comprised of these 9 teams, some of which would become Major League Baseball teams. But yeah, when is you're not going to see him until like 1910, 1915, somewhere around there. But yes, the game out of the park. If you've never played it, it's phenomenal. It has all the historical players. So when Babe Ruth comes into the league in like 1916 or whatever, he'll appear in 1916 in the game. Same with like Joe DiMaggio, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Reggie Jackson, Billy the Kid. Yeah, Billy the Kid was live at this point. Yeah. So all those players, when they historically come into the league, they will appear in this save. All the historical team moves, such as like the teams that fold, the teams that relocate, the teams that get created, all of that will happen as well, historically accurately. The only thing that I selected is that the development careers are random. So we're going to get Babe Ruth, but Babe Ruth could be a dud. He could be the Bronx Bomber. He could be an average player. He could have a 3-season career. He could have a 15-season career. We don't know. So I chose that the development paths are random, but all the historical players will come into the league. And that also means that players that are one-season wonders that come into the league, play for one season historically, they could turn out to be Hall of Famers. We don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, but we got a long way to go. This is the very first season. We started in April 14th, I think it is. April something like that. April 14th. Hang on. Very quickly before you run off. April 18th, it looks like, was the first. Yeah, April 18th was the first game. And if you ever see me looking down and you're wondering, why are you looking down? As we commentate the games, I am actually scoring them live. So I have a scorebook, and we're keeping track of all the games we commentate here via a scorebook. Who's your favorite player ever? Ooh, my favorite player ever to play. It depends on the position, but I think overall my favorite player was probably Ryan Howard. I loved Ryan Howard. But I also am quite fond of the 2 pitchers, Jamie Moyer, just because he was a journeyman. I mean, he not even a journeyman. He wasn't even a journeyman. He had so much grit. And Roy Halladay was one of my favorite pitchers, but also What was that pitcher's name? Oh my God! You know what? When you asked me that question, his name popped into my head, and now I can't remember his damn name. I was a big fan of Rhys Hoskins as well. I like Rhys Hoskins as well. But I'd say my favorite of all time is probably Ryan Howard, who's a first baseman. Clemente was a fielder. Hank Robert Gibson for pitchers. That's fair. Clemente, yeah. Clemente was he was an outfielder if I remember correctly. Roberto Clemente was a phenomenal human being as well. He was very charitable, and the work that he did. If you look up just the work that he did back in his home country, and also what he did for like people in the Pittsburgh area, it's amazing. What an absolute legend, and I mean legend of baseball. He's a Pittsburgh legend, which is why Stuart likes him so much. But overall, he's also just a legend of baseball. So I would say my three favorite players, Randy Johnson, that was the pitcher I was with. My three favorite players are probably Randy Johnson, Ryan Howard, and probably Roy Halladay. Because Halladay was just incredible as a pitcher. So was Johnson, to be fair. And Howard was just a big guy who just hit flashy home runs, man. And he was just, for 5-6 years, that's all he did was tear the league up, man. And you knew it the moment he swung. You knew, like, if he swung a normal swing, you could say, like, that's a ground out, or that's either a ground out or a single. But when he did that power swing, and by the time he was done swinging, he was facing the first base line, like, you knew. You knew the way he dropped his bat and the way he swung and the sound of the bat. Every time you knew that's either a ground out or that thing's leaving the ballpark. And that's what I loved about him. There was no in between. He either struck out, grounded out, or the ball was leaving the yard. Like, I loved it. So, if you see highlights of him, you'll know what I mean. He had a certain swagger when he hit home runs that was just like nothing else. That's why I loved about it so much. So, right. We got Ed Pinkham settling in. Here's the first pitch to Pinkham. Runners on the corners. Nobody out here. That first pitch is taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Pinkham had an RBI triple his last at bat. Here's the 0-1. That's taken below the knees. 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1. And that's off the plate away, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. And that is grounded foul down the third base side. It'll be 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Inside ball 3. 3-2. Let me give you guys a shout out because I have a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let me draw a line there. Let me give Matt a shout out real quick. There we go. I love Mad. Mad scientist, cool guy. Shout out Mad, by the way. FM26 streamer. He does the retro databases for FM, which are always phenomenal. He is a true retro appreciator. And yeah, his streams are a great time. Absolute great time. Go give him a follow if you're not already. The Mad Scientist is superb. Much love to you, Mad Scientist. Right, full count is it's a full count. Here's the pitch to Ed Pinkham. That's grounded over towards that. He might beat this out for a single. The throw over to first is saved. He has beat it out. It's an infield single. And Philadelphia has tied the game. Coming in to score will be Scott Hastings. Going to second is Tom York. And it was just a real choppy, slow roller. Pitcher didn't grab it. Second baseman had to come a long way for it. And he couldn't get it over to first in time. Pinkham was practically on the bag by the time he gloved it. So, two of my favorite players are intimately connected by a single play. Clemente a line drive off of Gibson's leg pitched. Two more batters. Work done. Chandlin to a full count, then collapsed because Clemente's line drive broke his leg. Wow, I didn't even know that. Right, here's shortstop Dickie Pierce settling, and he popped up to the pitcher his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to him. And that is a called strike. It's on 1. There's nobody out here. No reason to go for a steal here. There's the 0-1. Swung on, grounded over to third. On to second for the lead for 1, and that's all they're going to get. So fielder's choice for Dickie Pierce. It's an FC's 5-4. It stands for fielder's choice, third baseman to the second baseman. Pinkham is the runner that is retired, and York goes to third base. So it'll be 1 out, runners on the corners again. And that'll bring up Dick Higham. Reached via an error his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Higham. And that's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 count to Higham. And that's lined into left field. It'll be runs for Philadelphia. It's a single for Higham. An RBI single at that. Coming in the score is Tom York. Going to second is Dickie Pierce. And Philadelphia have taken a lead 3-2. That will bring up Charlie Bierman now. Bierman flied out the left his last at bat. First and second, 1 out here. They do not have speed at second. Here's the pitch. That is taken inside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, that's going to be a strike, but it's not handled by, it's past the catcher. And so going to third will be Dickie Pierce. Going to second is Dick Higham. And so it will be second and third with 1 out here. 1-2 pitch coming to Charlie Bierman. And that's taken below the knees. 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. 2 away now. That'll bring up Neely Phelps. He drew a walk his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Phelps. He swung on. That's going to be into left center field. More runs for Philadelphia. They pulled Higham back and tell him to wait at third. But it's an RBI single for Neely Phelps. Coming in the score is Dickie Pierce. And Philadelphia's got a 4-2 lead. Bobby Matthews, the pitcher, will be due up next. He lined out to the shortstop his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. It's off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, and it's through. Base hit into left, and it's an error on the base hit into right, and it's an error on the right fielder. So it's a single in the right. It's an E9. So the right fielder, John Glenn, gets credited with an error. That gives Matthews an extra base. Higham comes in to score. So that will count as an RBI. Phelps goes to third. Now it's 5-2. Back to the top of the order, John Hatfield. 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch to him. Swung on and missed, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. And that's grounded to the backstop. It'll be 0-2 now. Here's the 0-2. He's lined that right at the shortstop who makes the catch. And the side is finally retired. We batted around the order in the top of the third. 5 hits, leading to 4 runs. And they leave 2 on base. We go bottom third here in Cleveland, and Philadelphia's opened up a 5-2 lead. We are going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in just a minute and a half. Right, welcome back. Bottom third here in Cleveland. Philly out to a 5-2 lead. Right, big shout out to Ed Kit. Last playing Risk of Rain 2. Here they are doing the Just Chatting. Okay. They also do Mario Party, Mario Kart. Whole bunch of chaos. The home of chaos, even, if you will. A fantastic Ed Kit. Let's, we got ourselves Dave Egler selling into the mound, top of the order here for Cleveland. Egler had a single his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That's below the knees, 1-0. Here's a 1-0. Grounded foul down the third base side, 1-1. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That is popped up in the just shallow outfield. Second baseman's over. He makes the play. And that will retire Egler. Fred Cohn due up next. He settles in. He reached via a fielder's choice his last at bat. He also had 2 stolen bases when he was on base. Here's the first pitch to Cohn. He's grounded that to the backstop, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's below the knees, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. He's popped that up. It's drifting foul. It will land foul. We'll do it again. Here's the 1-2. That's grounded foul. Still 1-2. Here's the pitch. He's grounded a foul again. Here's the 1-2. Foul ball again. 8th pitch at the at-bat. There's the 1-2. Off the plate away, 2-2. Here's the 2-2. He's grounded and foul. It's the 10th pitch of this at-bat now for Fred Cone. Here it is. And he takes it high, ball 3. Here's the 3-2. And this is popped and just lands foul. We'll do it again. Pitch 12 of this at-bat. Here we go. And he's popped it up. Third baseman's coming over to grab it, and he will make the play. He's made Bobby Matthews really work for it, but in the end, he will sit down. And Fred Cone retired 2 out here. That'll bring up Deacon White, the catcher. White reached via an error his first at bat. Here's the pitch to him. And he's chopped at it. Foul. Here's the 0-1. And that is shot into center field. We're right at the center fielder who's there. And he will make the play. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go top 4th here in Cleveland, and Philly has got a 5-2 lead. That'll bring up our next sponsor. Hakuna Matata is a Fortnite streamer based out of Philadelphia. He's a fellow son of Ben like me. Go give him a follow if you like Fortnite. Hakuna Matata is our sponsor for this 4th inning. Right. Scott Hastings settles in to start this inning. 1 for 1 so far today. Hal Spalding already up to 71 pitches. Here's the 72nd. And it's underway. And that is lined right back through, base hit. And Hastings is aboard. That'll bring up Tom York. 1 for 2 so far today. Throw over to first, and back in time is Hastings. Here's the pitch. That swung on, grounded right at the shortstop. He goes to second. It's a bad throw. It's another E6. This time for Cleveland. And shortstop Chick Fulmer getting credited with the error. And now it's first and second, nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Here's third baseman Ed Pinkham. He's 2 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch. That's grounded to the backstop. Cully, what's good, Cully? How you doing? How you doing, Cully? Good to see you. I hope you've been well. How are you? Right. I've been ill. I got sick on Wednesday last week, and basically Thursday and Friday I mean completely out of it. Thursday was the worst day, but Thursday and Friday I was completely exhausted. Missed Thanksgiving. We book there's only 3 of us for Thanksgiving, my 2 parents and I, and we booked like an all-you-can-eat buffet up north of the city. And they went to it without me because I was just so ill Thursday. And Friday wasn't great. Sorry to hear that, dude. It's all good. Friday wasn't great, but I'm on the mend now. I'm a lot better. I feel like tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and still be sick, but it's gonna be like the last day. I feel like Wednesday I'm gonna feel great. So, but aside from that, I'm okay. Um, you know, here's the 0-1 to Pinkham, by the way. And he has shot that over to the shortstop. Evil team. Oh, it's another bad throw. Are you kidding? It's back-to-back E6s, by the way. So Chick Fulmer makes 2 consecutive errors on 2 consecutive plays that head his way. Going to first is Ed Pinkham. Going to second is Tom York. Going to third is Scott Hastings. And it's bases loaded, nobody out. That'll bring up Dickie Pierce, who's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And Pierce has grounded that foul. Here's the 0-1. He shot that right back up the middle. And it's another error. It's 3 straight errors. How has that happened? This time it's on the second baseman, William Johnson. Is his second error of the game. And 3 consecutive errors has given Philadelphia a 6 run in this game. Scott Hastings coming in to score. Now it's bases loaded still with nobody out. Dick Higgins settling in. I want to look at the box score real quick. Higgum, he had a hit. I think it was... I want to say it was a RBIs. Where are they? Triples, Pinkham. No, not Pinkham. I'm sorry, Higgum. I want to say that was a single from Higgum. I forgot to circle which one it was from him. So let me change this real quick. Because I have him as an RBI. But I think it was a single. So not any runner. Okay. Yeah, I think it was a single. Right. Yeah, run scoring single in the third. That one's taken for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that is lined right at the shortstop, and he's got it for the first out of the inning. Are you excited, Cully, that shouts are coming back in FM? That was the announcement today. Here is Charlie Bierman settling in. He's 0 for 2. That's grounded to the backstop. It'll be 0-1. There's the 0-1. And that one is in the dirt, but successfully stopped. It'll be 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's grounded to the backstop again, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's taken high and in. Ball 2. 2-2 to count now. Here's the pitch. That is fouled down into the seats. 2-2 to count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. 2 away now. That'll bring up Nearly Phelps. He is 1 for 1 with an RBI. Here's the pitch. That is a shot into left center field. Left fielder's right there, shy of the track. And he will make the play. No, I'm sorry, 1 run on 1 hit, and they leave the bases loaded. We go bottom 4th here in Cleveland, and Philadelphia's got a 6-2 lead. We are going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Right. Bottom fourth. Game time currently at 1 hour, 13 minutes. And here we go. It'll be Al Spaulding settling in. He lined out to the second baseman. His last at bat. Here we go. First pitch. That's off the plate away. Ball one. Here's the 1-0. Below the knees, 2-0 now. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That is shot into right field. Right fielder coming in for it. He will make the grab, and that is going to be the first down of the inning. That'll bring up Chick Fulmer. He had an RBI double his last at bat. It's been 8 in a row retired now for Matthews. Here is the first pitch. That's below the knee. Check swing. They go to first. Not in time. Or he didn't go, says the umpire. Here's the 1-0. That's swung. That's right at the third baseman. He makes the play. And that'll retire Fulmer. 9 in a row now for Bobby Matthews. Here's William Johnson settling in. He lined out to the second baseman his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. Swung on a miss, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 now to William Johnson. He kind of check swing / chopped at it, but it lands foul third base side. It'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Grounded over to second. That's on to first, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. Top fifth here in Cleveland. 6-2 Philadelphia. New inning means new sponsor. Go give Stewart a follow if you're not already. They are a retro game commentator, particularly speedrun commentator. that do a lot of neat little speed run commentary speed run games. But when they get a little bit of free time, it's not very often. They do stream themselves, and why don't you check them out if you're a appreciator of the retro games themselves? Last streamed Final Fantasy III. DM Stewart is our sponsor for this fifth inning here tonight in Cleveland. Bobby Matthews will be the first man into the batter's box. 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch to Matthews. And he has popped that up into right field. Foul. I do play FF1 Randomizer, FF6 Worlds Collide Randomizer, Link to the Past Randomizer, and some non-randomized games too. Nice. I know you commentate that stuff as well, which is pretty cool. It's been awesome to see you do that, actually. The commentator heart in me just, I love it, bro. You know I do. Here's the 0-1 to Bobby Matthews. And he's popped this up behind home plate, but it's going to land in his seats. It'll be 0-2. There's the 0-2. You'd like to think you have a good commentary voice? I think you do. I think you do. Now we just got to get you one of these. These will make anybody sound good. Here's the 0-2. That's off the plate away. 1-2. I'd like to think I have a I used to hate listening to my voice. Believe it or not, it's the struggle every commentator goes through, right? There's always a period where you have imposter syndrome. There's always a period as a commentator when you think, I am not good enough. You know, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I sound good enough. But after 6 years of doing it, 6.5 years, well, 6 years in general of doing it, you know, I've come to think I actually have a fucking fantastic voice for it. And I don't mean to sound conceited. Do not get me wrong. I just feel like once you start to figure out how to inflect your voice, how to pronunciate things clearly. Thank you for the lurk, Thomas. Appreciate you, brother. You know, I always like to watch back my commentary to see how I can improve. I do too. I used to nod at first. It actually took me a little while to do that because I hated my own voice. You know what I mean? Like I started in 2019. So 2019, 2020, I never actually listened to any of that stuff. It wasn't until like late 2020 that I started to listen back to the commentary. And then it wasn't until 2021 that I started to pick out, like critique it. Like I was really good here. I was really good there. I should think about this more. I should think about tying these together. And once you start to do that and you get over that imposter syndrome you have from listening to yourself talk, because you are going to say stupid stuff. Like, I think people have to realize as a commentator, like, people make fun of commentators all the time because they say stupid stuff. And I'm like, you're not naturally meant as a human being. And this is true for streaming as well, by the way. You're not naturally meant to listen to somebody talk that much ever in their entire life. Like, not day in, day out, hours at a time. You know what I mean? Like, that's not natural. Commentary is not a natural human thing. So, same with streaming, obviously, right? Because it's all broadcasting in some sense. And I think once you accept that, you get over it, and you start to listen to, and you get over the imposter syndrome of how you sound and everything. Then you can start to critique it, and then you can work on things like your inflection, how you push words and sentences together, how you formulate your ideas a little bit more clearly. Like, I think, and all of that takes time. Like, you know, I haven't done CS commentary in a year and a half. But I'm still a better commentator now than what I was a year and a half ago, because sometimes I'll go back and I'll watch my VODs, or I'll watch things like this, or I'll watch, you know, I even sometimes go back and watch some of my old CS casts, And it's like, what do you want to say? And how do you want to say it? You know? Right. Let's get back to the baseball. 1-2, the count. Here's the pitch from Al Spalding to Bobby Matthews. That is high, ball 2. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. And that is popped up. Shallow outfield. Second baseman's gone a long way for that, but he makes the play. And Matthews is retired. That'll bring up John Hatfield, the left fielder. He is 1 for 3 so far today. Here's the first pitch. That is lined straight into center, right at the center fielder. He makes the grab. And that will be out number 2. And that's not me talking to Stewart, by the way, or just Stewart. That's me talking to everybody. If you ever think I can't do it, you ever think, can I do it? 100% give it a go. It's commentary is an absolute blast. It is so much fun. And it's so much fun to people you get to work with. You know, you're going to meet some cool people and some producers. You're going to learn a lot of great things about broadcasting as well, you know, and what goes into an actual production, especially like having done it on the CS end and having to had to work with producers and replay, you know, and things like that. Like, it's actually awesome, you know, the amount of people you're going to meet and what they do and what they're like and building those friendships. That's the funnest part of commentary, because once you get comfortable with people and you kind of know where they're at, what kind of references they get, your commentary explodes in fun like that. Here's the first pitch to Scott Hastings, and that's taken below the knees, 1-0. 2 for 2 so far today is Hastings, 2 singles. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and he has grounded that right back up the middle. That is another E6. It has been a bad day at the office for shortstop Chick Fulmer, who now commits his 3rd error of the game. So Hastings is aboard. That brings up Tom York. He's 1 for 3. Here's the throw over to first. And Hastings is back in time. Throw over to first. Hastings is back in time. Here's the pitch. That is popped up into right field. Right at the right fielder. And he will make the play. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 left on base. We go bottom 5th here in Cleveland. It's a 6-2 ball game. I do have another shout out I want to give. I got 2 others I'm going to give in the mid innings, by the way. It really is a blast. The folks I work with doing commentary are outstanding people. Yeah, absolutely. Like, Snicky and Parks are the 2 I've worked with the most, and I've worked with a guy named Vincent Casts. And the guy outside of that I've worked with the most is probably Grumpy now. God bless Grumpy's soul. He's no longer with us. He's up in heaven right now. And he was an absolute joy. He taught me so much about commentary when I was a newbie. And I was very new when I worked with him. Like 2020 was when I worked with Grumpy the most, right? I think we lost him in 2021. But Parks and Snicky are the 2 that I've really worked with the most, and they're fantastic people. And what we've put on as a product, as just 3 guys with OBS, like, you know, that kind of stuff. It's fantastic. You know what I mean? It's absolutely fantastic. So, and you meet some awesome people that way. Like, Icy was an awesome guy to meet. He was a young kid, and we used to joke about the age gap between me and him all the time, which was really funny. It was really funny for the broadcast as well. But yeah, you meet some awesome people. Right. Big shout out to KXJ, by the way. He is an Icelandic FM streamer. He also streams other games, man. He streams like Eco and Dave the Diver this week. I think he was streaming. He's pretty cool dude. He's a really cool dude to talk to. There you go. Awesome goal. Awesome streamer. Give him a follow. KXJ. Fantastic individual. Right. We're going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. I'm sorry. Thank you. That is shot in the left center field. That is going to be a base hit. It's a double for Denny Mack. And he is aboard a double. Thank you very much, Coley. Sorry. I must have accidentally. I have a kill switch on the keyboard. And when I come back in the mid-innings, you see how it says hit any key or click mouse to continue? So when I come back in the mid-innings, because I mute during the ad break, I always use that key to advance to this screen, and I must have double tapped it. Or no, you know what? I hit the one key last time because the one key is continue instead of hitting the kill switch. So I apologize. Thank you very much. So Denny Mack's aboard, leadoff double. Cleveland might have something brewing here in the fifth inning. That'll bring up John Glenn. He popped up to the second baseman his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Glenn. That's called a strike. It looked way high to me. John Glenn's not happy with it, I can imagine. But it is 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And he has lined that right back up the middle. Over to first. That's in time. Gets the runner. 6-3 on the putout. That'll bring up third baseman Francis Abercrombie. Abercrombie grounded out his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Abercrombie. That's a call. Strike, it's 0-1. That looks high. Certainly not as high as the strike that was called on Glenn, but. Here's the 0-1. That's off the plate away, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. High ball 2. 2-1. 2-1 pitch. And he has popped this up in the infield. Shortstop's over. He will make the grab. And Abercrombie is retired. That's going to bring up Dave Egler. He's 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch to Egler. Off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Inside, ball 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And he's grounded at over towards the hole. Shortstop's got it on to first, and he makes the play. That's in time. It was a tough throw. It was a deep throw, but he gets him. And it's no runs on 1 hit, and they leave 1 aboard. We go top 6 here in Cleveland. 6-2 Philadelphia. New inning means it's time for a new shout-out. He is a coveted and beloved mod here. He's also just a fucking great human being. Last playing Black Ops 7, but he's also streamed things like Battlefield 6, Football Manager Rematch, and the Oblivion remake. Go give him a follow if you haven't already. Pixelated Suits is our sponsor for this 6th inning here today. Thank you, bud. You are welcome. And Pinkham settling in. Thank you for being here. 2 for 3 so far today. He's got a triple and a single. Here's the first pitch to Pinkham. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. He's grounded that foul. 0-2 now. 0-2 to Pinkham. Here's the pitch. Check swing. They go to third. He didn't go. It's way off the plate. It'll be 1-2. 1-2 pitch. That's high and in. 2-2. Here is the 2-2 pitch. And that is lined foul down the third base side. 100 pitches now for Spalding. Here's the 2-2. He's grounded that to the backstop. We'll go again. Here's the 2-2. High and in, ball 3. 8th pitch of the at-bat. Here we go. 3-2. He's grounded that over to short. And it's another error. It's another E6. You have to ask yourself the question, how bad this is hurting Cleveland. This is 4 errors now by Chick Fulmer. You have to think it's multiple things, though, right? It's 4 errors by Chick Fulmer in the field. It's it's literally 10 batters in a row that got retired. It's also a player like Francis Abercrombie, who is now 2 for 35 on the season. They have to improve some of that if they want a chance at competing this season, because the season is very quickly slipping away from them. Pinkham gets aboard. It's an E6 to get him aboard. The second straight E6. He had an E6. He was aboard via an E6 in the 4th. He's aboard via an E6 here again in the 6th. And that will bring up Dickie Pierce, who last reached via an E4. He is 0 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Dickie Pierce. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Cleveland as a team have made 7 errors today. Here's the 0-1. That's a call. That's outside ball. One runner goes, and he's caught out at second base. It's a great throw. An absolute phenomenal throw from Deacon White. And Pinkham is caught stealing at second. It was a ball, so it'll be 1-1, but here's the pitch. He's grounded that over to short. That's another E6. Oh, my God. That is 5 errors by Al Spalding today. 5. That's unheard of. And now Dickie Pierce is aboard. That's going to bring up Dick Higham. Higham is 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the pitch to Higham. Grounded that foul to the backstop. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's high, ball 1. 1-1 now. Here's the throw over to first, and he picked him off. He's picked him off. He has picked him off. You know, the question was you have to ask yourself how much it's hurting, but Pinkham was caught stealing, and Pierce has now been picked off. So 2 errors, but they've managed to alleviate the pressure on the bases, and now Higham's got a 1-1 count and 2 outs here. Nobody on. Here's the 1-1. That's I don't know where that missed. Maybe low. It's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's high, ball 3. 3-1 to count. Here's the pitch. Grounded over to first. And did he get there? No, he beat it out. He beat the throw. I don't know why he didn't stand there, take it to the bag himself, but he waited for the pitcher to come over, and the pitcher could not hustle over in time, Al Spalding. And so beating out the throw is Dick Higham, and it's an infield single. That's going to bring up Charlie Bierman. He is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. First pitch, that's a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded over towards second. It's a good stop. It's a bad throw, and it's an E4. This is like a circus show now. 3 errors for William Johnson on the afternoon. 9 now for Cleveland. And now Neely Phelps was due up. He is 1 for 2 so far today. First and second, 2 outs here. Here's the first pitch to Neely Phelps. That's taken for a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. And that is going to get by. That is a passed ball. Going to third is Dick Higgum. Going to second is Charlie Bierman. And it's 1-1 to count now. Here's the 1-1. Grounded to the backstop, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. And that is lined into left field. Left fielder coming in for it. He will make the grab, and the side is retired. No runs on one hit, and they leave two aboard. We go bottom sixth here in Cleveland. 6-2 for Philadelphia. Little shout out, my last inter-inning shout out should unless anyone else comes in. A big shout out to 10 Shadow, last playing Dead or Alive 6. They also did a playthrough of games like Silent Hill F on their stream. They don't stream very often at all. But give them a follow if you like those kind of games. It's 10th Shadow, who has been awesome to see pop in here today. Right, we are going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Right, welcome back. Bottom sixth here. Cleveland settling in. It'll be Fred Cone due up first. Cone is 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch to Cone. That's a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Fred Cone. That's grounded foul into the seats. 0-2 the count now. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Fred Cone. Off the plate away, 1-2. Uh, 1-2 to count. Here's the pitch. Grounded over to third. On to first from deep third, and that's in time. And that'll retire Cone. It'll be Deacon White due up next. He's 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch to White. And he has popped this up left center field, but it's high and it's playable. And left fielder's there. He'll make the grab. And that will retire White. Al Spalding, the pitcher, due up next. He's 0 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch from Spalding. Or to Spalding, I should say. And that's a called strike, 0-1. 0-1 to count. Here's the pitch. He's popped that up right behind second base. Second baseman's over there. He will grab it, and that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Cleveland. We go top 7. And it's a 6-2 ball game. Philadelphia in the lead. Due up first will be pitcher Bobby Matthews. He is 0 for 3 so far. I'm sorry, he's 1 for 3 so far today. New inning, new sponsor. He does a lot of co-streaming with the likes of Bubba McGinty. They just finished the FM24 German network save. Earlier this week, he was playing Arc Raiders today with Bubba. He also does PGA, likes to play that as well with a few members of the community. Does some Euro trucking as well. Give him a follow if you're not already. He's fantastic. The ever so excellent Ziggurath. He is our sponsor for this 7th inning. Right. Matthews settling in, 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. Off the plate inside, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Check swing, they go to third. He definitely didn't go. And it's high, 2-0. Here's the 2-0. And that's grounded right back up to... That's taking a Baltimore hop. And safe at first is Bobby Matthews. That was hit right against the mound. Pitcher was there to play it, but it was hit so hard into the base of the mound it popped up on him, went by him. Second baseman came over, but Matthews scurried down the line, and it's an infield single. I wrote that in the wrong inning box. I wrote that under the 6th. We're in the 7th now. Let me just correct that real quick in the score sheet. There we go. I'll bring up John Hatfield. Hatfield is 1 for 4 so far today. Here's the first pitch to him. Runner first, nobody out. He goes for the bunt. Over to first. That's in time. So 2-3 on the sack bunt. That's going to get Matthews over to second here with 1 out. And that will bring up Scott Hastings. Hastings is currently 2 for 3. He reached, guess what, via an E6 his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to him, and that's taken off the plate away. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's high, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Scott Hastings. Ball 3, it's high. And now, is he going to have the green light is the question. Here's the 3-0 pitch. No, he's taken all the way. That's a called strike. It's 3-1. 3-1 pitch to Hastings. Here we go. And he's grounded out right back up to the mound. Over to first. That's in plenty of time for the second out of the inning. More importantly, that does not move the runner off second. That'll bring up Tom York. He's 1 for 4. First pitch to York. And he has popped that right. It's into center field, base hit over the infielder's head. It's a single. They are going to hold Matthews at third. And York's got himself just his second knock of the afternoon. And another single, and it's runners on the corners now with 2 outs. I'll bring up Ed Pinkham. He is 2 for 4 so far today. He has a triple, a single, and he's reached twice via an E6. Here is a big at-bat coming up. Ed Pinkham, first pitch to him. And he's grounded that to the backstop, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's high and away, 1-1. 1-1 to count. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That is shot deep into right field. Way back there and just off the top of the wall. I thought it was going to clear the park, and I would say he's a double short of hitting for the cycle, but now he's only a home run short of hitting for the cycle. He has got himself an RBI double. Going to third is Tom York. Coming in to score is Bobby Matthews. And Ed Pinkham has got a single, a double, and a triple. And Philly's got a 7-2 lead. That'll bring up Dickie Pierce. He is 0 for 4 so far today. Second and third, 2 out here. Here's the pitch to Pierce. That's off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Called strike, it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, 1-2 now. The count to Dickie Pierce. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is into foul territory on the right field side. And it will land there, but we'll do it again at 1-2. There's 1-2. Inside, ball 2. 2-2 now. Below the knees, ball 3. Now the count is full, 3-2. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4. And Dickie Pierce has walked himself onto the bases loaded. For Dick Higham. He is 2 for 4 so far today. Here is the first pitch to Higham. That's inside, ball 1. The 1-0. Check swing, but it's a called strike anyway, and it's a 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. 1-2 to count. Here's the pitch. And he's popped this up. That's a base hit in the left. More RBIs. And Dick Higham's got himself an RBI single. And Philly's got themselves an 8-2 lead. Coming in to score is Tom York. Going to third is Ed Pinkham. Going to second is Dickie Pierce. And it's 8-2, and that is going to be that for Al Spalding. Spalding lasts 6 2/3 innings. And that will be Frank Selman to come in as relief. They have had enough. 8-2. Selman has come in. Here's the first pitch from him, and that's grounded to the backstop. I had to move him down a line in the pitching stats because they only give you 120 spots for pitches, and Spalding did 141. So I went down to the next batter's box, the next pitcher's box, and just did 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to 21. So I just realized I put Frank where the 21 is, so I've had to move him down a box. Right. 0-1 is the count after that foul to Charlie Bierman. Bierman is 0 for 4 so far today. He reached via an E4 his last at bat. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded foul. It'll be 0-2. 0-2 pitch to Bierman from Selman, and that is lined into right. It's another base hit. They haven't stopped the bleeding. Bierman is aboard, RBI single, and it's 9-2 Philadelphia. Coming in to score is Ed Pinkham. Pierce goes to third. Higham goes to second. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs. 2-out hitting, getting it done for the Athletics. That'll bring up Neely Phelps. He is 1 for 3 so far today. Here's the first pitch. That is a called strike. It's on 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is lined into left. The left fielder's there. He'll make the grab, and that will retire the side. For the second time in this game, Philadelphia's batted around the order in an inning. This time it's 3 runs on 6 hits. And they leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Philadelphia has opened up a 9-2 lead. As always, it's an American tradition. We will bring it to you, of course, this rendition, courtesy of Harrison Sheckler, of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We're going to get up and stretch the legs. We will be back in 2 minutes' time. Enjoy Take Me Out to the Ball Game. You heard him. Play ball is the call, and we are going to do just that. It is bottom 7th here in Cleveland. They're not having necessarily a great time. They are down 9-2 currently. And they're going to bring in a pinch hitter here for Chick Fulmer, I believe. I believe this is for Chick Fulmer. I would understand if Al Spalding was up to the plate. Obviously, you would have. Well, Frank's in now, so they're going to bring in a pinch hitter for Chick Fulmer. So this is subbed out in the 7th. Sub 7th. Ed Bevins is going to be the 7th for 5. So this is pinch hitter now. And it'll be the first pitch to Ed Bevins. Bevins is 2 for 4 on the season with 3 RBIs. Don't know why he's not starting more. Here's the first pitch. And that is like he is going to be 3 for 5 on the season, and he's a pinch hitter, and he lands a single here to lead things off for Cleveland. Fantastic stuff. That is going to bring up William Johnson, the second baseman. He is 0 for 2 so far today. Doesn't make sense because Chick Fulmer, actually, by the way, is one of the few guys who has a hit already on the Cleveland side. They only have 4 hits. They have Egler, who led off with a single in the top first. Fulmer was the guy that brought him home. And then Denny Mack had a hit in the 5th. And that's only the 4th hit right there. So, perplexing. But nonetheless, I mean, Bevins gets it done. He's on first. That's going to bring up William Johnson. Here we go, 0 for 2. First pitch to him today. Or in this bat, right back to the mound. They go to second for 1. Over to first. They got them both. They got them both. That's an absolute knife through the heart. It's a 1 to 4 to 3 double play. And that clears the bases. My word. Just when Cleveland are ready to get something going, Philadelphia shuts the door on their hands, really, just in their face. Denny Mack, first baseman, is now due up. He is 1 for 2 so far today, but the bases are empty, and there's 2 outs. Here's the first pitch to Denny Mack. Inside, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Called strike, 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Check swing. They go to first, and the umpire there says he did not go. 2-1 to count now. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that's lined right at the second baseman, and he will glove it for the final out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit. Nobody left on base. We go top 8th. And we got ourselves a 9-2 ball game here in Cleveland. Crowd is stunned. Absolutely stunned. Oh my goodness. Right. New ending means new sponsor. He streams FM 26, but he streamed a lot of other games as well, like Shimigama Tensei 5 and Claire Obscure Expedition 33. He is a fantastic streamer. Give him a follow. Crack Attack Central, another great Irish streamer. Crack Attack Central is our sponsor for this 8th inning here tonight. Absolute can hear a pin drop in this place. Selman is ready on the mound. It'll be Bobby Matthews again due up here. He is 2 for 4 so far today. Here's the first pitch to him. And that is off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Misses inside. Ooh. The 2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And he's missed it. Ball 4. And so Frank Selman has just walked the opposing pitcher on 4 pitches. Not a great start to the inning. That's going to bring up John Hadfield. He is currently 1 for 4 today. Here's the pitch. That is taken off the plate away, 1-0. Or I'm sorry, inside, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a call strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. He's lined that through the hole, base hit. And Hatfield's got himself a single. Going to second is Bobby Matthews. And so Hatfield's got his second knock of the afternoon. That's going to bring up Scott Hastings. Hastings is 2 for 4 today as well. Here's the first pitch to Hastings. He's grounded that back up towards second. Over to second, they get the lead runner. And so Hastings is aboard on a fielder's choice, 4-6. Hatfield is retired. Going to third will be Matthews. Runners on the corners, 1 out now. That's going to bring up Tom York. 2 for 5 today, 2 singles. Here's the pitch. And he's lined that right at the first baseman. Diving back is Scott Hastings. But York is retired. Now that brings up the man, Ed Pinkham. Nice. Ed Pinkham is currently 3 for 6. He is a home run away from hitting for the cycle. No man so far in the majors has done it. Here's the first pitch to him. He settles in. He's grounded that to the backstop. It's 0-1. We've come close a few times, but nobody has yet. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2 is the count. Well, the 0-2 pitch is taken inside. Ball 1. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And he has popped that up. Drifting foul. And it is landing foul. Okay, he'll get another shot. Here's the 1-2. Off the plate away. 2-2. Counts even. Here's the pitch. That's high. 3-2. Full count. Here's the pitch. And he has lined that right at the second baseman who gloves it. And that will retire the side. No runs on 1 hit. And they leave 2 aboard. We go bottom 8 here. And it's a 9-2 ball game. Due up first for Cleveland will be right fielder John Glenn. We are going to take a 90-second timeout. We will be back with more in just a minute and a half. Sorry. Oh, and you guys can still hear the music. There we go. Bottom eighth. And we are back into it. Hold on. Let me just check one thing real quick. I do need to tick that on. I need to tick that back on. Yeah, that's actually correct. So I was checking the advanced properties, and when you hide it, it doesn't show in the advanced properties. Right. Bottom eighth here in Cleveland. John Glenn due up. It's actually going to be another pinch hitter. George Hubel coming in. For John Glenn here in the eighth. Here's the first pitch to him. That is a very slow strike, but it is a strike, and it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's inside, ball one. Here's the 1-1. I don't know where that missed. Maybe inside, maybe low. 2-1. That looked like a strike to me. 2-1 pitch. That is called strike two. That looked like it missed outside. Maybe the ump's getting tired. I don't know. Game time has only been 2 hours 24. Here's the 2-2. And that's popped up. Shallow center. Shortstop comes back. He makes the play, and that will retire Hubel. Yeah, this is what I don't get. You replace Glenn, and you replace Fulmer. Fulmer, by the way, has a hit. But you've left Abercrombie in the game, and he is 2 for 35 on the entire season. That just does not make sense. Here's the first pitch to Abercrombie, who's 0 for 2 today. Swung on a miss. That's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That is flied into left. Left fielder coming into it, and he's going to grab it. That'll be the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Dave Egler. He is 1 for 3 today. First pitch to Egler. Called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded over to third. That's a good stop. That should just be a single. And it will count as an infield single. So that was just very sharply hit. And that stop is potentially what changes it from a double to a single. Take nothing away from Pinkham on the stop, but that's just way too hard to play to make. So infield singles, what it will be, it'll bring up Fred Cone. Cone is 0 for 3. Here's the pitch to Cone. That's a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's a called strike. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's below the knees, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That is below the knees again, 2-2. 2-2 pitch. And that's grounded over to third. On to second. Did they get him? They got him. They got him in time. It's a fielder's choice. 5-4. But they got him, and the side is retired. No runs on one hit. They leave one aboard. We go top 9. Phillies got a 9-2 lead. New inning, new sponsor. He's another Irish football manager streamer. He's fantastic. He's super kind, by the way. Lovely gentleman. How we roll, Owen. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Outstanding individual. He is our sponsor for our 9th inning here tonight. Dickie Pierce will lead things off. It's actually going to be a pinch hitter on the Philadelphia side here. This is Dickie. This is for Dickie Pierce. Oh. Subbed 9th. Right. Here's the first pitch to Pierce. Or to Quest. It's Joe Quest who settles in, and he's fouled that to the backstop. Quest 2 for 4 so far this season. Here's the 0-1. That's below the knees, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's inside, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. And Quest has lined this into left. It's a base hit. And Quest has got a leadoff single here in the 9th for Philadelphia. That'll bring up Dick Higham. He is 3 for 5 so far today. And that is inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's high, ball 2, and no contest, no throw. So stolen base for Joe Quest. Here's the pitch to Dick Higham. And that's grounded over. That is going to be a single. That should be a single. It is. And Higham's got his 4th hit of the afternoon. All of them singles. Going to third on the play will be Joe Quest. And now it's runners on the corners. Nobody out here for Philadelphia. That's going to bring up Charlie Bierman. Bierman is 1 for 5. Here's the first pitch to Bierman. That's inside. Throw over to second. There's no throw over to second. And so it's a stolen base for Higham. Here's the 1-0. That's a called strike, 1-1. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That is inside, ball 2. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That is grounded foul. It'll be 2-2. Bierman 2-2 pitch. Here it is. He has popped this straight into center. And right at the center fielder who makes the grab. And that will retire Bierman. That'll bring up Nearly Phelps, who is 1 for 4 so far today. He's flat out to left field 3 times. Here's the first pitch to Phelps. And that's inside, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch to Phelps. High and away, ball 2. Here's the 2-2-0. Inside, ball 3. Is he going to have the green light? Here's the 3-0. That's taken below the knees, 3. And that is a ball 4. And so Phelps has drawn his second base on balls of the afternoon. That'll bring up Bobby Matthews, the pitcher. He is 2 for 4 so far today. Here is the first pitch to Matthews, and he's grounded that back up towards the mound. Over to second, and they got him at second base. He didn't slide, so they got him at second base. So Matthews is aboard on the fielder's choice. 1-4. Phelps is the man that's out. Higham goes to third. And Quest is, I believe, held at... No, Quest went in to score. So that's an RBI fielder's choice. Oh, my God. I have to fit all of that into this box. RBI, FC, 1-4, and then draw a line. There we go. That will bring up John Hatfield. Left fielder, he is 2 for 6 so far today. Here's the 2 for 5. Sorry, here's the first pitch. That is inside, ball 1. The 1-0, called strike. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1, called strike. It's 1-2, and here's the 1-2 pitch. He has shot that into left. Base hit. More runs. RBI single for John Hatfield. Coming in to score is Dick Gagum. Going to second is Bobby Matthews. And John Hatfield knocked in 11th run for Philadelphia. 19 hits for Philadelphia so far today. Right, first and second, 2 outs. Hastings is the man settling in. It's him and York and then Pinkham. And Pinkham is the man who's trying to hit for the cycle. Here's the first pitch. That is a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. He's grounded that. That's not that dream's gonna die. Over to first. He's safe. He's safe. He beats it out. It's an infield single. He is safe. Can you believe it? The inning stays alive. The dream for Pinkham stays alive. And now it's just Tom York. York is 2 for 6 so far today. If York can survive this at bat, Pinkham's going to get one more shot to hit for the cycle. Here it is. First pitch to York. And he's grounded that to the backstop, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. And he's lined that into left. That should be fair, and it just lands foul. 0-2 to count to York. Here's York, and he's grounded this back up to second. The throw over. It's a bad throw. It's a terrible throw. It's an E4. And it's an E4. York goes to second. Coming in to score is Matthews. Coming in to score is Hatfield. Going to third is Hastings. York gets second. It's William Johnston's 4th error of the game. It's the 10th for Cleveland. It's 13-2. And now here we go. And Pinkham settles in 3 for 6 so far today. And if he can clear the fence in this at-bat, he'll become the first man in the majors to hit for the cycle. It's not an easy task. But here we go. He's certainly got the power. Here's the first pitch to Ed Pinkham. Check swing. They go to third, and the umpire there says he didn't go. It's 1-0. Here's the 1-0. And he shot that into center. Will it carry? No. Right at the left fielder, and the dream dies in left field in Fred Cohn's hands. 4 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. We go bottom 9th, 13-2. No ad break here because it's the final half inning, so we're going to go straight into it. It'll be Deacon White who's due up first. Here's the first pitch to White. That's a call strike. It's 0-1. I mean, Cleveland very much out of this game now. Here's the 0-1. And he's lined that right at the shortstop. That'll be the first out. L6 on the put. That's going to bring up Frank Selman. See, this is where you use a pinch hitter. Selman's 2 for 7 so far this season. Here's the first pitch to Selman. That's grounded over to first. Fair ball, and it's through the first baseman's legs. Going with the throw over to second, not in time. And Selman's got himself, I stand correct, he's got himself a double. Runner on second, 1 out. That's going to bring up Ed Bevins again, shortstop. He had a single his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Bevins. He's lining this into left base hit. Selman will stop at third. And Bevins has pinched hit 2 singles here in this game. That is going to bring up William Johnson, who's currently 0 for 3 so far today. 100th pitch for Bobby Matthews. Here it is. That's lined right at the second baseman. He will make the play over to first. Double play. They got him. And that's going to do it. Overrunning the bag. And it's a 4-3 double play. And just like that, the side is retired. No runs on 2 hits. They leave 1 aboard. And that is the final. The final here from Cleveland. The Philadelphia Athletics 13. The Cleveland Forest Cities 2. An absolute dominant display from Philadelphia. Much needed win after they lost to the Fort Wayne Kekiungas in the earlier in June. But a smashing performance here means it's 13-2 for Philadelphia. Right, it's time to do the individual stats. We'll start with the visiting Philadelphia Athletics. John Hatfield, 1, 2, 3. I have 3 for 6 so far. So 6 at bats, 3 hits. He scored 2 runs, and he had 1 RBI. Scott Hastings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 at bats, 3 hits, and he scored 2 runs. Tom York, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at bats for York. Just the 2 hits, but every time he did, he scored a run. So 2 hits, 2 runs. Let's see. Ed Pinkham, here's the big boy. Ed Pinkham, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at bats for Ed Pinkham today. 3 hits. 1 of which was a double, 1 of which was a triple, and he scored 1 run. He was caught stealing once, and he had 3 RBIs as well in the game. Dickie Pierce, 1, 2, 3, 4 at bats. He did not have a hit, but he did score a run, and he had a base on balls. And he made a fielding error. It was the only fielding error for Philadelphia today. Dick Higham, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at bats. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Scored 2 runs. He stole a base as well. There should be base running, right? Caught stealing. It's not counted as a stolen base because there was no throw. Okay. I'm going to know that going forward, but I'm going to record it today as stolen bases. Right, Charlie Bierman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 at bats. Only the 1 hit. It did bring in an RBI, but he also struck out twice. Right, Neely Phelps. 1, 2, 3, 4 at bats. Just the 1 hit. It did bring in an RBI, but he also drew 2 base on balls. Bobby Matthews, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 at bats. The two hits. He scored 2 runs. He had 2 RBIs. He also drew a base on balls. And then Joe Quest, 1 at bat, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 stolen base. So, For the Philadelphia Athletics, 6, 12, 19, 26, 30, 36, 42, 46, 51, 52 at bats. That's crazy. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13 runs. 3, 6, 8, 11, 15, 16, 17, 19. I have 20 hits. That's correct. Of those hits, one was a double, one was a triple. They drew 3 base on balls. They had 1 fielding error. They struck out twice, stolen bases, 1, 2, 2 stolen bases, sack bunts. Oh, Scott Hastings had a sack, and then I think there was one other sack in here. John Hatfield had a sack, and I don't think there were any other sacks. No, so 2 sacks. RBIs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 RBIs as well for Phil. Just a blitzing. We'll come back to Bob Hastings, Bobby Matthews, who pitched 9 innings. We'll come back to him in a minute. The visiting are the home Cleveland Forest Cities, right? Dave Egler, 4 at bats, 2 hits, both singles. Fred Cohn, 4 at bats, no hits, 1 run, 2 stolen bases. Deacon White, 4 at bats, no hits, 1 run. Al Spalding, 3 at bats, no hits. Chick Fulmer, 2 at bats, 1 hit, RBI, and 5 fielding errors. William Johnson, 4 at bats, no hits. Johnson literally. Johnson was responsible for both double plays, by the way. Denny Mack, 3 at bats, 1 hit. It was a double. So was Chick Fulmer's hit, by the way. That was a double. John Glenn, 2 at bats, no hits, 1 fielding error. William Johnson, by the way, 4 fielding errors as well. Francis Abercrombie, 3 at bats, no hits. Ed Bevins, 2 at bats, 2 hits. George Hubel, 1 at bat, no hits. Frank Selman, 1 at bat, 1 hit, and it was a double. So batting totals for Cleveland now: 4, 8, 12, 15, 17, 21, 24, 26, 29, 31, 32, 33 at bats out of 27, by the way. 27 is the minimum you get in a game. Runs 2, hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 hits. Yep. Doubles 1, 2, 3. No triples. No home runs. No base on balls. 10 errors. No strikeouts. 2 stolen bases. No sacks. 1 RBI. On to the pitching now. Bobby Matthews will get credited with the win. I have his pitch count at 100. That is correct. No base on balls, no strikeouts. 7 hits. 2 runs, but neither of them were earned. What an outing for him, by the way. What a great outing for him. Al Spalding, 6 2/3 innings I have. I have his pitch count as 131. 141, sorry, 141, yeah. 2 base on balls, 2 strikeouts. Let's see, he gave up 14 hits, 9 runs, 7 of them were earned. Jesus. And then Frank Selman pitched 2 1/3, right? Yep. I have his pitch count as 49. 2 base on balls, no strikeouts, 6 hits. Yep. 4 runs, 2 of them earned. And that is that. Oh, Al Spalding will be credited with the loss. And that is that. Right. Let's leave the game. I'm going to immediately advance. But first, Washington Olympics hosting the Troy Haymakers. Washington get it done in a walk-off. They went down, or they were up. Wow, this game's actually pretty crazy. So they were down 6-5 going into the eighth. A 3-run eighth brought them ahead 8-6. Troy tied it in the top of the ninth to make it 8-8, and then Washington walked it off in the end in 9 innings. So Washington goes to 5-6. Troy now 4-10 uh, on the season. Let's advance one day. No games on the 7th, so let's advance to another day. The next game will be the 4-3 Chicago White Stockings at the 5-8 Rockford Forest Cities. Let's check your standings here. In the American League, the Boston Red Stockings lead by a game. They are 8-2. Philadelphia Athletics move to 7-3. They are 1 game back. Washington Olympics, their win moves them 3.5 games back. With a record of 5-6. The Cleveland Forest Cities loss puts them at 4-5. They are also 3.5 games back. Chicago White Stockings lead the National League at 4-3, but only by a half game over the Fort Wayne Keck-Youngas. The New York Mutuals are 4-4. They're also a half game back. Rockford Forest Cities, that's us. We are still within 2 games at 5-8. Big game coming up with that Chicago White Stockings game. That's a chance to move to within a game potentially, or a game and a half of the National League lead. The Troy Haymakers loss puts them 3.5 back now. So that's where we stand. The next game will be the 8th of June, 1871. It'll be Rockford's 14th game of the season, which is almost the halfway point because they play 34 games of the season. So we are almost at the halfway point. I think at the end of the month we'll be at the halfway point. So we're already into the 8th, so look at that. But that is it. We're going to save the game one last time, and we're going to thank everybody for being here. If you're watching on the YouTube, thank you so much. We'll see you for the next one. Until then, take care.